From USA LaFille in the beautiful city, Chicago, Illinois, WGN Sports presents White Sox baseball. It's Paul Konerko, Alex Rios, Andrew Jones and the Sox as they get set to butt heads with Vernon Wells and Cito Gaston's red-hot Toronto Blue Jays. Hi, everybody, and welcome. With Steve Stone, I'm Ken Harrelson as we get set to bring you Game 3 of this four-game set. As you know, the Blue Jays have won the first two. They won the opener 2-0. Johnny Danks really pitched well, but Dana Evelyn was a little bit better. They won it 2-0. Then yesterday, Mark Burley really pitched well. We went into extra innings. In the 12th inning, Gonzalez hit a 3-run homer. We lose it 7-4. So this afternoon, trying to get back on the right track with Jake Peavy.
Jake Peavy last time out was absolutely brilliant against Kansas City. He seems to have found it. He found the release point. He was 1-2 against all of their hitters, and they couldn't touch him. He also made that fastball move into the right-handers, and when he does that, he's as close to unhittable as anybody in this league. He's 1-2. His ERA is coming down, and hopefully tonight he'll have the same type of luck that the other two starters had before him. Brett Cecil goes to the mound for Toronto, and last time out took a perfect game against the Indians into the 7th inning. Lost a no-hitter 3 hitters later, but threw a real good ball game. His ERA is .261. His record is 2-1. He has a terrific curveball, tops out at 94 miles an hour, and this is one of their real good youngsters. So, Hawk, we got our work cut out for us, but we got to win a ball game.
All right, sit back, relax, and strap it down. White Sox baseball coming your way.
Tuesday's Mega Millions jackpot is worth $19 million. Tonight's game is available in Spanish on your SAP audio setting, provided by WRTO La Tremenda, Chicago's Spanish language sports leader. Overcast tonight, although it looks like the clouds are parting. There is some sunshine down on the field. The tarp has been removed. And hopefully for both pitchers, there will be no interruptions in this one. Here's a look at Jake Peavy, who comes into this with a tremendous amount of confidence, especially after the last start and after the first inning of the start against Texas 2 starts ago. So Jake is going to set the tone, and hopefully the offense is going to follow him. This is a very good Blue Jay lineup and a very good Blue Jay team. They're 11-3 on the road this year, and they find themselves with some great balance as Cito Gaston looks on. He's got a strong team, but he's in a very strong division. So the Blue Jays, who are 18 and 15 in third place, 5 games back, line up with Freddie Lewis leading it off, and it's Hill, Lynn, Wells, Overbay, Gonzalez, who was the villain last night with a 3-run homer late, Bautista, Buck, who had a couple of home runs last night, and Snyder playing right field and hitting 9th. The defense and how they're going to line up behind Jake Peavy in the outfield, left to right, Juan Pierre. It's going to be Rios and Quentin rounding out. In the infield, Tian, Ramirez, Beckham, and Canerco. A.J. Pierzynski, who tied it up in the 9th inning with a towering home run. And Jake Peavy at 1-2, his ERA coming down at 6.31, but this is 7th start. Opponent's hitting just .255. And he's shown the promise of getting a whole lot better with each and every start. The umpires. Tim Welke behind the plate, Jim Reynolds at first base, Bill Welke at second, Mike DeMuro at third. So Jake got ahead of just about everybody his last start against Kansas City, and the secret to that one was 1-2 counts. He had them consistently all night long. So as AJ starts to throw it around, you can see the sunshine has broken through the clouds. And it's time for baseball, so I'll turn it over to my play-by-play partner, Hawk Harrelson.
All right, Stone Pony, thank you. And once again, good evening, everyone, and welcome to White Sox baseball right here over WGN Sports. So happy you could join us for Game 3 of this 4-game set. Now, Juan Pierre's going to have to get some sunglasses out there in left field. And it looks like it might be one of those evenings. In and out, in and out. So Freddie Lewis getting loose, getting ready to step in that batter's box to take the first pitch from the 28-year-old right-hander, Jake Peavy. Lewis 4 for 10 in this series. Comes in hitting at .289 a homer. He's driven in 8. First pitch way off the plate. This is the 7th meeting of the year between these two clubs. In the first 6, Toronto has won 4. Sacks it up into left field, and that's not going to be playable.
I don't think that Juan saw that ball, because I think it had a shot at being playable. He just looked up in the sun. That ball didn't drop that much foul. I see Juan look up. Right now, he's lost the ball.
So the count 1-1 to Lewis. He has faced Peavy 9 times, and he has 4 hits. And count 1-2, and here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field, 330 down the left field line, 335 down the right field line, 375 in the gaps, and 400 straightaway center.
See how tough it is by that shot on a center fielder and the left fielder at this time of game.
That's going inside.
Freddie Lewis was with the Giants, and that's why he does have somewhat of a body of work against Jake Peavy, who is with the Padres.
And the 2-2 pitch. That is chopped foul. And earlier today at Target Field in Minneapolis, first of a split doubleheader, Baltimore beat Minnesota 7-3.
Go Oaks.
That's 2 in a row. They have another game tonight. Jeremy Guthrie was the winner today. Ball hit to Alexei. And that is out number 1. That'll bring up the second baseman, Aaron Hill. Aaron comes in hitting at 191, a couple of home runs. He's driven in 6. Aaron last year, big season. 286, 36 homers, and 108 driven in. First pitch strike.
That's one of the big differences. As you look at Cito Gaston in his final year of managing.
And count 0-2.
and he's thrown 2 breaking balls. The first one at 76, and this one at 84.
Off the fist. Beckham's got it. 2 down. Well, Jake said he is a field pitcher. I love guys are field pitchers because they have a better tendency to change speeds on everything, whether it be a slider, whether it be a curveball, fastball, or even a changeup. Guys who are more or less so mechanically inclined, they want to go by the numbers. They don't change a lot of speeds.
He wasn't changing speeds for the first 4 games, and that was one of his big problems.
That was the biggest problem. When you're hard, you're going to get hit hard.
Especially in this league.
Adam Lynn, 0 for 7 in the series. And Adam also a big year last season. 305, 35 homers, 114 knocked in. He's just 26 years old out of Anderson.
He's got big power to all fields. He can drive that ball to left center if you stay away from him.
That is high and deep into right field. Carlos back in front of the track. Makes a catch. That is a just missed it. Meanwhile, after happening a play, it's Toronto nothing and the good guys coming to bat.
Beckham back in the lineup, and it's Jones, Canerco, Rios, 9-game hitting streak. AJ, Carlos Quentin, Tien, and Ramirez rounded out. The defense behind Brett Cecil. Left to right, Lewis, Wells, and Snyder in the infield. Bautista, Gonzalez, Hill, and Overbay. John Buck behind the plate. He had a couple of home runs last night. And 23-year-old Brett Cecil on the mound. He came up last year and learned a lot of lessons. His ERA was up over 5. He was 7-4. And this is a fairly young but very talented staff, 1 through 5, for this Toronto team.
And before we show you our picks to click, you at home select yours as Juan Pierre stands in. Pierre hitting at .216. He's 1 for 10 in this series. Takes first pitch strike.
They're in very close at both corners. Both Overbay and Bautista in on the grass.
And a count 0-2. First pitch at 89, that one at 86.
There you go, get it.
Slap to the left side. Bautista. 1 out.
Cecil's motion is kind of strange, and that adds to deception. Because he kind of hesitates, hides the baseball. I don't think you actually see it 60 feet 6 inches. I think you're going to pick it up sometimes on the way to the plate, which makes it a little tougher to hit.
So here's Beckham. Gordon has been struggling, hitting at 198, a homer. He's driven in 4. Set out yesterday's ball game. In the first game, he was 0 for 4. Stops that one foul.
Spring training, Cecil cut his index finger, cutting some chicken, couldn't throw a curveball, and refined his straight change along with his fastball and location of both. And when the finger healed, voila. He all of a sudden, he's always had a good curveball. When the finger healed, now the changeup was a whole lot better. So was his location. And his ERA at 2.61 shows proof of that.
23-year-old southpaw. 6'1", 235 pounds, out of Dunkirk, Maryland. And the count evens at 2.
Cecil with a first-round draft choice. It was a supplemental pick, 38th overall in the June 2007 draft. They have always been a very productive system.
And a full count with Andrew Jones on deck. He told you, Blue Jays 11-3 on the road this year. They also have won 8 out of their last 9. So this ball club is right in the middle of a hot streak. That pitch, good pitch to hit, out of the way, and not playable.
You know, Hawk, you talk a lot about being in between. Can a hitter do anything to get himself out of that? Because in between, you're not going to be able to hit.
Well, that's where Gordon has been. And Greg Walker talks to him. When you get in between, I mean, there's no definitive answer. There really isn't. The only thing you can say is there's ball 4, is that you have to make a commitment. And that's a heck of a lot easier said than done. It's easy for somebody who's not to play with that bat in their hand. Greg knows he's in between. Gordon knows he's in between. But over the years, I've seen guys who are in between, and the way they tried to get out of it is just they're going to sit on a pitch. Sit on a pitch.
So give up the curveball, look for the fastball, or give up the fastball and look for the pitcher's best breaking pitch.
Exactly. Yes, here's Andrew. And usually what happens at first when they start doing that, they'll get in the middle of the at-bat and all of a sudden they'll change. They abandon that commitment. Now when they come back after striking out or popping up and grounding out, now they're more in between. One of the mysteries of the game of baseball, it's so beautiful. There's so many things that are subjective. And nobody in all these 130 years of baseball, we've had some great hitters, some very cerebral hitters. And nobody has ever come up with a definitive way to get out of being in between. I'm sure there's an analogy for a pitcher as well. There's a chopper and that's foul.
Yeah, you can't, well, teams go into slumps, sometimes collective slumps, where they're not doing anything right. Hitters, of course, as we know, go in and out of slumps sometimes over the course of a year, maybe 5 times. For pitchers, it's the same thing. You might have a great curveball, and all of a sudden, for 2 starts, you lose it. There's no explanation for it. Because you feel like you're throwing it the same way, it's just not breaking.
1 out and the 1-2. Just off the corner with a changeup. Andrew 2 for 8 in the series. Andrew sitting on 397 home runs. That is high, and it is playable. So with 2 out, let's check out our picks to click tonight. Command Joe, our director and crew, they went with Mark T and Steve's going with Gordon Beckham. John and Rachel down in Florida, in St. Petersburg. We're going to go with Carlos Quentin.
Boy, that was a big walk for Gordon Beckham.
The Senator.
Just
Senator Stone.
that starts him off on the right foot.
He goes right. Dodge picks to click. And for more information on our entire vehicle lineup, log on to Dodge.com or stop by your Chicagoland or Northwest Indiana Dodge dealer. Senator Stone and Charlie Wilson. There's a pair of beautiful house. Paulie missed a couple of games with a very stiff neck. But he was going to pinch hit last night in the bottom of the 12th, if not Alex Gonzalez cranked out that 3-run homer in the top.
Well, that's been one of the real big surprises for these Blue Jays. The fact that Gonzalez has 9 home runs, and he's tied for second in the league in runs batted in with 25.
That's how many Paulie has. 12 homers, 25 knocked in.
Miguel Cabrera leads the American League with 30 runs driven in.
Tigers lead the league in hitting.
Yeah, that's a good hitting ball club with some problems at the tail end of their starting rotation.
There's a strike on the corner. Detroit beat Cleveland 6-4 at Progressive Field. Yankees at Fenway were leading 7-3 at one point. And I believe that's a 569th consecutive sellout at Fenway. Good check. Then the count goes to 3-1.
Pitches already for Brett Cecil. He hasn't had command of the straight change, and he is a bit vulnerable at this point.
Well, he made a good pass at it. 90-mile-an-hour fastball. So 2 out, full count. And with the right-handed hitter, Overbay still is going to hold him on, as he should. That ball hit deep, way back. Lewis looks up. You can put it on the board. Yeah. Yeah. 2-run bomb by Paul Konerko. And the Sox lead it 2-0. Mercy.
We told you about the vulnerability of Cecil because of his lack of command here in the first inning. Paul turns it into 13 and 27 on the power numbers. He gets a low fastball on the inner half and leaves no doubt about where this one is going to wind up, because that's long out of here.
Ball 1 to Alex Rios. Alex hitting his .301. 5 homers. He's driven in 15. There's the strike. And the count 2-1. So that's the 42nd home run hit by the Sox. Of course, with that home run, the Alex and Elias family will donate $100 to White Sox charities for every Sox home hit throughout the course of the season. Being number 42, that's $4,200 donated by Alex Nellis in loving memory of Ursula.
Oh, there's no doubt that the walk to Beckham set up the whole inning. really took a lot of Cecil's confidence away.
The center.
Every run scored by the Sox this series has been courtesy of the home run. None the first night, 4 last night on 3 homers, and a 2-run homer by Paulie here in the first.
As he gets Rios, but the 2-run homer by Paul Konerko after 1, 2-0 good guy. First pitch fastball strike to Vernon Wells leading off here in the top of the 2nd inning. Wells comes in hitting at .331, 8 homers. He's driven in 22. And very quickly the count 0-2.
Wells thought that one might have been low and in. But if Tim Welke's going to call that kind of a zone and calls it all night, Jake's going to have a good night.
Vernon 4 for 8 in the series.
After the first inning where Jake retired Lind on a fly ball to right field, he was a little unhappy with himself because he didn't get that slider down and in as he wanted, and Lind just missed it.
That breaking ball low and away. Atlanta beat the Phillies 4-1 at Citizens Bank Ballpark. And that's inside. 7th inning at Fenway, 8-3 Yankees. He gone. Chased a bad one.
Wells showed a lot of patience to work the count to 3-2, and then that pitch was never close to the plate. It started out 6 inches outside and moved 1.5 feet outside.
Been there and done that. Worse than that. Not a good feeling. Yes, here's Overbay. Hitting at .185, a couple of homers. He's driven in 11. High and wide from the Jake Meister.
Overbay had a big single last night in the 12th inning. Came after a walk to Wells and before the 3-run homer by Gonzalez.
Yeah, he was down in the count 1-2, and they just could not get a splitter over to him after throwing a couple fastballs by him. So on both counts, something was wrong with that picture.
And the ball was one hop rocketed into right field.
Yeah. Get over there. Perfect feed by Paulie as usual. He's as good a feeding pitcher as I have ever seen.
So all you ask for as a pitcher on a play like that is you want a firm toss and you want to get the ball in your glove at least a couple of steps before the bag so you can right your footwork. Like a quarterback, throws him a strike. Jake able to right his footwork and you touch the inside of the bag with your right foot. There it is, perfectly done on both ends.
There are some first basemen that are all over the place with those feeds.
And that drives a pitcher crazy because he doesn't know exactly what to do.
Well, you don't get over there as fast either because you got to slow up. You don't know where the ball is going to be. With Paulie, our guys know exactly where it's going to be. Chest high as Gonzalez waves at that. Leading this club in RBIs with 25.
Jake takes a little something off the breaking ball.
And the count 1-2. Boy, he got a hanging splitter last night and just crushed it for that 3-run homer in the top of the 12th.
Well, the irony is they got him for his defense. He's made 6 errors. He hasn't played well defensively, and he's tearing it up offensively.
Yes, he did. He gone. 6 up, 6 down for the Dickmeister. And he leads it 2-0. On campus and online classes fit your schedule and your budget. Here's AJ. Hit a big home run last night. It's a tie that. That was leading off the bottom of the 9th off Kevin Gray. He killed him. Takes that pitch inside. Bautista even with the bag off the line at third. And there's a strike on the corner to even the count at 1.
I'm talking with Buck Martinez, former Major League manager, current broadcaster for these Blue Jays. He said that all the experience these youngsters got last year is paying dividends this year.
He did not.
They ran a bunch of youngsters out there. There's a look at Buck. A lot of youngsters who had to pay their dues, and they're starting to come of age.
Early shot base hit by A.J. So the leadoff man aboard.
Cecil does not have as good control right now as that fastball was above the belt, out over the plate. And A.J. rifled it to right field.
So here's Quentin. Carlos at 175, 4 homers, 18 driven in. Out at the Coliseum earlier. Oakland beats Tampa Bay 4-2. Short lead by A.J. Outfield straight up. And that is straight up to short right. Travis Snyder. That's a major league pop-up right there.
Organize a group outing of 20 or more guests during a 2010 season by purchasing a block of tickets. You can enhance your outing with one of 6 great party areas. The more tickets you order, the more money you save. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com.
That'll bring up Mark Tien, hitting at 238. A couple of homers. He's driven in 6. Different party areas here. Hosted by the Bertucci boys. Now there's a pair that'll be the full house.
At Miller Lite Bullpen Sports Bar.
Miller time.
Great burgers, great ribs, great chicken.
And believe me, my partner, the senator, is a connoisseur of burgers.
Oh. I could probably go the rest of the way without eating a steak, but a hamburger.
2-0 the count to Tien.
Congratulations to the Blackhawks on a big win last night. They can wrap it up tomorrow night.
They are fun to watch. They are exciting. The Pie 3-0. And they're going to be for a long time.
They just took advantage of some very bad penalties and made Vancouver pay.
Well, you had to figure that Vancouver was going to try to come out and rough them up a little bit.
It really cost them.
There's a strike in the count, 3-1. Yes, sir. Blackhawks, fun and exciting. Three-one pitch, and that ball is trying to come back in, but it won't. 4 rows back, so a full count.
First time we've seen Brennan Wells shift about 5 feet and move just a touch over to his right. You see him just right there to the left field side of center field.
And once again, the payoff. So he comes back from 3-0 to get him. Ron Kittle. Big man from Gary. He could hit him just as far as anybody. Awesomely strong. So here's Alexei. Takes that change up high and wide. Alexei, 2 for 8 in the series, comes in hitting at 214. A couple of homers. He's driven in 9.
It'd be nice to jump on Cecil before he starts to get the feeling of that changeup. He does not have it yet.
Big swing, chops it foul. Jeff Cox will make that play.
Jeff's learned down there to get to the baseball just as it stops rolling.
One of the legitimate characters in the game of baseball.
And he knows everybody on every team.
It's amazing. That ball hit deep, but going foul.
Mike DeMuro on the line, and that ball hooked at the last instant. So Cecil got a break. Became an eyelash from being down 4-0.
Two out, 1-2 to Ramirez. Down and in. Top of the second in Cincinnati at the Great American Ballpark. Reds leading the Cubs 2-0. Outfield about equidistant. Third of this 4-game set. The finale tomorrow, Gavin Floyd against Ricky Romero. As Alexei just does get a piece of it. It was just a matter of time. You had the designer pitch there for about 10-15 years. It was the splitter. It's still around. And the straight change was almost non-existent. Now it's come back to where it should be. It's taken its rightful place in the game of baseball. The straight change as being the second best pitch.
And everybody is teaching every pitcher with a less than awesome fastball to throw the cutter.
That cutter is something. Payoff. And another foul ball.
And what makes a cutter as deceptive as it is the hitter identifies it as a fastball, goes out to get it, and then it moves in on their hands. That's a left-handed cutter to a right-hand hitter.
I was talking with Bruce Levine, very fine reporter here in Chicago yesterday about it, and we were talking about the cutter. I remember when talking to Ted Williams about the slider when they first came with the slider. Ted thought that was just the most awesome pitch he had ever seen. As that ball is going foul. And that's the pitch that he hated to be thrown to him more than any other. They made it was a 100-mile-an-hour fastball or foul fella curveball. The slider he hated. Well, now it's a cutter. It's come into play as far as being an awesome pitch, and the managers have not caught up on how to manage against that cutter yet.
Well, you were talking about that before the game, and I thought it was real interesting. And when we get some time, I'd like to have you elaborate on that because it's an interesting philosophy.
That could fall, and it will. Thank you very much. So a little duck snort, which has always had its prominent place in the game of baseball.
Cecil tries to heat him upstairs, and Alexei doesn't get a lot of it, but he gets enough of it. And the inning continues.
So here's Pierre. He bounced out to Batista at third.
Well, they're not paying much attention to AJ at second base, and so he wants to get a good secondary lead because as close as Lewis is in left field, if one goes that way, you have to score on a base hit.
1-1 to count. AJ's a little sneaky. He's a little sneaky. Don't worry about him.
He realizes that the closest guy to him is Bill Welke, the umpire, and he's not going to tag him out.
That's up high, 2-1. Don't stop now. Don't stop now, boys. Let's keep going.
You see Gonzalez playing in the hole, and AJ talking to Jeff Cox to let him know if Hill's going to come over.
And that's a souvenir left side. There's a base hit. And just like Stone Pony was talking, as the ball was bobbled by Lewis.
I think what AJ did was he gave up on it a little too quickly, because Jeff Cox started to wave him when he saw Lewis miss it. Juan takes it through the left side. And here comes AJ. And right there, he holds up, and you see Jeff Cox waving him. Now, it could very well be that he was waving him a little too late. That's exactly what happened. Jeff held up his hand and stopped him, and then tried to start him again. And you really can't do it all that easily.
So here's Beckham. He walked last inning. That hit by AJ leading off this inning was the first hit by a left-handed hitter off Cecil this year.
Well, Juan was the second.
Yeah. Can I check it up? Yeah, okay, he's struggling. He's in between, but don't get too anxious right here. Don't get to the point you're trying to knock them all in with one swing.
Well, it goes back to who the pressure is on in this situation.
Every time.
It's not on Gordon.
Who commands the presence between the pitcher and the hitter? Good eye, and the count 2-1. When you walk to that plate, if you can say to yourself, when you're looking out that mound at that guy, hey, buddy, you're in trouble, then you're in good shape.
Very good speed at first and second.
And the count 3-1 with Andrew Jones on deck. So he's going to get a cookie right here, or he should.
Well, you look one pitch, you look fastball. If you get anything else, well, then he's going to get you. But if you get a fastball and it is in the zone, you should hit this ball hard.
And the 3-1. And that's ball 4. It is a 3-0 ball game.
RBI number 5 for Gordon Beckham. And we're going to have a bit of a timeout. Bruce Walton comes out. He wants to have a word with his young left-hander who has really struggled with his command here. Talked about last time out against Cleveland where he took the perfect game into the 7th inning. You could tell in the first inning that he had no feel for the straight change and even less of a feel for his fastball. Now it's really time to make him pay with Andrew Jones.
Andrew hit a towering pop-up in foul territory that Jose Bautista made to play. First pitch strike. That at 91. Ground ball softly hit. Up with it. But the bases loaded walk to Beckham. Forces in Pierzynski. Will go to the top of the 3rd. It is 3-0 White Sox. First pitch slider fouled out of play right side to Bautista. Leading off here in the top of the third inning, 3-0 good guys. Bautista hitting at .216, 6 homers. He's driven in 20. And Cito Gaston said he's been doing a good job down at third base. There's a strike.
That inside fastball looks that much better when you have the kind of slider that Jake has. Tough to cover both sides of the plate for the hitter.
Well, you can't, except at certain times of the year. You might, unless you're Joe Mauer.
Well, yeah, Albert
Pujols. Hitters, for the most part, cannot cover the whole plate except for a couple times a year. That's when they're really going good, and hitting in baseball really is pretty easy. The rest of the time, it's just a battle. You got to take one side or the other. Broken bat, and Matabatacola. 1 out.
What percentage of hitters, Hawk, do you think are guess hitters as opposed to reaction hitters?
Today?
Yep.
I would say, let me give you the scenario. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago, you probably had 80-85% of hitters who look for pitches. There's a difference looking for a pitch and guessing, but who look for pitches. Today, I would say it's just the opposite. I would say that 85% of the hitters today are reactionary hitters.
Why would it have shifted so drastically?
That's the way the game evolved, and one of the initiators of the change of philosophy, so to speak, was Charlie Lau. Charlie Lau, as that ball hit high into right center field by John Buck. Rios has got it, 2 down. Cooperstown is filled with people who stood right on top of the plate, very close to the plate. Charlie Lau came in, and Charlie was a friend of mine, very dear friend of mine, a teammate of mine, and a coach of mine in Kansas City. And he became, probably in the last 50 years, certainly the most renowned hitting coach.
And his prototypical student would be George Brett.
Exactly. And what Charlie did is he got people off the plate. He got them off the plate to where it was harder to pitch them inside. And they would dive looking to get the ball, left-handed hitters, to center and left center. There, the bullet. So it became more, instead of a philosophical type thinking at the plate, it became more of a mechanical type thinking at the plate. Now, George, there were a lot of guys who took to Charlie's philosophy, and Charlie helped me as a youngster when I was a kid, just got called up. But he did it in a different way. Charlie's demeanor was a huge issue in his acceptance as a hitting coach. He, for the most part, made you come to him rather than him coming to you to give you advice. And he would say, okay, Hawk, off this guy, off Steve Stone now, you got to sit on this curveball. You got to sit on this curveball. If he throws 3 fastballs right down the middle, don't worry about it. Just grab some bench. But then it evolved into a more mechanical situation down the road.
Freddie Lewis in the on-deck circle as Jake has faced the minimum of 8 through 2 2/3.
Ball hit hard. That's a hang woofing for Travis Snyder. Meanwhile, 9 up, 9 down. guys. Paul Konerko. He got us on the board in the first inning with 2 out. Beckham had walked. He was at first. Ground ball left side. And here's what he did back in the first.
It's our 4th drive of the game. Led off the scoring. And it was 2-0 Sox. And the ball got through rounding the bags for the 13th time this very young season.
And when he hit it, it was 44 degrees. That ball went a long way in 44-degree weather. Now it's a little cooler at 43. Here's Rios. Alex struck out on a good changeup. There's the changeup. Now, the guess hitting today is almost non-existent.
It'd be nice to look at least in or out at various times.
Oh, there would be. Yeah, they look location. They look location a heck of a lot more than they look for pitch. But if you wanted to take it a step further, location. For an example, if Alex is looking in off this guy right here, there's several pitches he can be throwing in there. But if he's looking in off a right-hander, you know he's looking fastball.
Well, that's why the man at second doesn't really have to read pitches. But if you got a right-hand pitcher and he tips you to the fact that the catcher's sitting inside, you can pretty much bet 95% of the time it's going to be a fastball.
Hard into right center field. Snyder on the run. He's there. So that young 22-year-old can cover a little ground out there in right field. He has played well against us, at least defensively.
He's also starting to swing the bat, because when we were in Toronto, he wasn't doing much of anything, and he started to heat things up, and he's hit the ball hard in this series. That ball he lined out to end the 3rd inning was scalded.
Yeah, he's now 5 for 8 in this series. So here's AJ. He lined a bullet in right field to lead off last inning. And it's the first hit by a left-handed hitter off Cecil in 2K10. Breaking ball. And that'll do it, a 1-2-3 inning. And we'll go to the 4th. Freddie Lewis will lead it off here in the top of the 4th inning. He grounded out to short to lead off the ball.
Lewis had a very good at bat as the first hitter of the game. He's familiar with Jake's stuff, and he battled him before Jake won the battle.
Pulled the string on him, had him out in front. So the count 1-1. There you go. Good movement on that fastball at 92. That's his movement. In a real world, ideal world, you'd like to see it go down just a little bit.
That fastball drifted over the middle of the plate. What Jake wanted to do was throw it right at Lewis's hip and shave off the inside corner. That's one of the pitches that put Greg Maddux into the Hall of Fame.
And Whitey Ford from the other side.
Again, pretty good bat by Freddie Lewis.
He's now 4 for 11 in this series and 4 for 10 lifetime off Peavy. And another souvenir.
Jake can take a little something off. He's going to probably screw Freddie into the ground.
Especially with a breaking ball.
Get up a little too high, the same pitch. Getting good movement tonight.
And another souvenir.
Lewis making a lot of Sox fans happy.
This will be the 9th pitch of the sequence. And that's popped up into left center field. Alex will take charge.
Win a Jake Peavy jersey and tell the White Sox what you think. Simply log on to your computer and take a quick survey. Your answers are confidential. Visit whitesox.com/survey. You must complete the survey before tonight's game ends.
So here's the second baseman, Aaron Hill. Did a little looper, a little Doc Edwards shot that Beckham caught.
Well, the first time up, Jake set him up away and then buried that fastball in on his hands and shattered the bat.
This guy is a good player.
He was on the disabled list when we saw them in Toronto. And I don't think he's quite back 100% yet because those numbers are most un-Hill-like.
Well, when you hit 36 homers and driving 108 that season. It was chopped over into our dugout.
Scatters a few folks down there.
He gone.
Set up it inside and wipe him out with that hard slider low and away. If pitchers had to get hitters out in the strike zone, very few guys would be able to do it. But if you get ahead of hitters, You wipe them out of the strike zone.
Here's Lynn. He just missed one last time up. And you always have the rare exceptions. Greg Mattis's, Tommy Johns, Bruce Suitors, guys of that ilk. They don't throw many strikes.
Well, if you let them, they'll never throw a strike.
That's right. Never.
And Tommy John was an earlier version of a guy that threw strikes begrudgingly.
Tommy John pitched one of the best games I've ever seen pitched at Fenway Park. He's a 2-hit shutout against a good offensive Red Sox team and never threw one inside pitch. Not one. And the only way you can beat Red Sox at Fenway is you better bust them inside. But there are always exceptions to every rule. The 2-2. He gone. Backdoored him. And that is 12 up, 12 down for Jake Peavy. Three 3-0 Sox here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Carlos Quentin will lead it off. He'll be followed by Tien and then Ramirez, the bottom third of our order. Breaking ball high.
Hermes taking care of AJ. Got a bit of a cramp.
Dig, Hermie, dig. Make it hurt.
Yeah, I think Hermie just as soon get those prongs out and really dig it in.
That's outside. Yeah. I get my cortisone shots in my wrist and walk in there. Hermie just have a big smile on his face.
You let him shoot you, huh?
Yeah.
You're a brave man.
There's the strike.
I've had a few of those, and I know you probably had a few more, but they're not fun.
Here's the 3-1. And that's the dreaded leadoff walk. And let's check out today's U.S. Cellular text poll question. Believe in something better. Which team has the best starting pitching staff in the American League East? A, Tampa Bay, B, New York, C, Toronto, D, Boston. Just text A, B, C, or D to 97999 and watch for the results later in the game.
Taking a look at that division, they're pretty tough.
That's some pretty good pitchers on those four teams right there.
You better come in fully loaded or you've got some big problems.
His 10 had a 3-0 count. Uh-oh. There's one, return, and tie.
3-6-3.
Quickly 2 out.
Toughest double play is a 3-6-1. But with Overbay that close to the bag, he was able to get back in plenty of time and make the play.
Also, he gave Alex a perfect throw so he could get out of there, so if Quentin wanted to come after him, he'd be interference anyway. Breaking ball strike to Ramirez, who had a little Duxmore single. One and one to count. Change up.
That's the best one that Cecil's thrown tonight. He's got a good change up. Hasn't had one tonight, but the last one was a dandy.
And the 1-2 pitch.
There it is.
Has a nice stay fair. Nope.
Alexei thinks he might have broken his bat. But after some further pounding, it's intact.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th, 3-0 White Sox. Reaches out, and that's a fair ball. Hits the bag.
That's when you know you're going good, because it's going to be a tough play anyway, but when it hit the bag, that's all she wrote for Bautista.
So a little duck snort single, a little infield hit the bag single.
Right down the line, and Bautista realizes it's going to be tough. Now it's going to be impossible.
So here's Juan Pierre. He's 1 for 2. He laced a single in the hole between third and short. Takes a strike. Boston now trailing the Yankees 14-3.
Boston's had a few problems with the boys from the Bronx.
I think in the last 14 games, the Red Sox have won 2.
Yeah, but I mean, a few problems. Well, the Yankees are second in the league in hitting behind Detroit and second in the league in pitching behind Tampa Bay.
Boston's third.
Yeah. And second in the league in fielding behind Minnesota.
The 0-2. That's softly hit down to Hill. And that'll do it. Nothing across. We're into the 5th, leading 3-0.
Had hair like that.
Dan Aykroyd. Ish.
Yep. A cone head with hair.
Two lovely cone heads. That's out of play. Out to bat of Vernon Wells, and the count 1-1 here in the top of the fifth inning. Vernon struck out on a way bad low and away slider on a 3-2 count to start off the second. Jake has retired everybody he has seen 12 in a row. There's a strike.
Vernon had surgery on his hand during the wintertime. Hadwood for him was a fairly disappointing year last year, but he's come back with a vengeance this year, and he's tearing it up so far.
Crossfire right there, misses.
Well, Jake missed in the right place. If you're going to miss, you don't want to drop down sidearm and then leave that ball over the inner portion of the plate. Those go out of the park.
And another full count to Wells.
Well, he wiped him out on a hard slider last time. Vernon expanded his zone.
Fastball tailing inside. Nope, we're going to go away. Get to the shortstop. That's the way that crossfire that you saw right there from Jake a couple of pitches ago. That was vis-a-vis Jim Bunning.
Well, there was a lot of guys that
venerable senator from.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys that would use that.
Oh yeah, but I mean Jim used it a lot against right-handers.
Not so much anymore.
That's one reason he won over 100 games in each league. So here's Overbay. Oh, look at the play. You could see. Wow. Wow. What a play. That ball was, I thought, was going to eat him alive.
Paulie's pretty happy. He had to give some ground and had to hope that that ball just hopped in his glove. It did that, and pretty easy after that. This is the tough part. You know Jake is going to be there, and he's got plenty of time with Overbay running.
So here's Gonzalez. Takes a strike. And Chicagoland viewers, how would you like to win $5 footlongs from Subway? Well, it'll just be the 500th texter to text Subway to 97999. Go to WGNTV.com for complete information and rules. Peavy flips but throws him out. That is 15 up, 15 down. We're halfway home. Jake Peavy has been perfect thus far. Gordon Beckham will lead off here in the bottom of the 5th inning. He has walked twice, scored 1, and knocked in 1. Off the end of the bat. Hill is not got a place. That'll be a base hit and infield single for Beck. He'll take it.
He breaks the bat, catches it off the end of the bat, and it goes right off the leg of Cecil. Looked like Hill had a shot, but when he double clutched, he held on to it. And the perfect night for Gordon Beckham continues.
Well, let's see. So here is Andrew Jones. Takes first pitch strike. As we speak, you are leading, Senator.
Gordon had a couple of big walks. And usually, when a guy starts walking, it means he's seeing the ball a bit better.
He had 6 in that Kansas City series. He'll be fine. 2-1 to count. Oh, got a good pitch to hit. But you can support your White Sox by becoming a season ticket holder. Now, the White Sox Aussie plan features 13 games, including Cub Series tickets, leaving the rest up to you. Prices vary depending on selected seat category and game choices. So for details, visit whitesox.com or call 312-674-1000. And that's up high. Full count to our other AJ.
Now what you have to do is watch the pickoff move, because Cecil hasn't shown much of any pickoff move to first. This would be a good time to show it.
There he goes. Didn't get a good jump. Also, talking about those season ticket plans, prorated White Sox season ticket plans are on sale right now. Full season, weekday, and weekend plans offer best seat locations at the lowest prices with the most benefits. So call 312-674-1000 or visit whitesox.com. There he goes again. They'll strike him out. And they're calling him out on interference.
Because I think Andrew went across the plate, impeded the throw of Buck, and Tim Welke calls him out. Ozzy's going to argue he's going to lose this argument because it is a judgment call. And what he's saying is he swung and then crossed over the plate as Buck came up. And what a catcher tries to do when a hitter does that, he wants to initiate contact. And I think that's what Ozzy's arguing about, was that Buck initiated the contact. We'll watch it again. Swings at it. And then falls right down, and Buck hits him in the helmet.
That is really questionable right there with that big swing.
Well, he hit him in the thigh and then ducked down. Then he hit him in the helmet.
When you're swinging that hard like he does, you have a tendency to fall that way. Anyway, 2 out.
Either way, it is 2 out.
Paulie is 1 for 2, a 2-run homer. Now, even though we've lost the first 2 games, this has been a well-umpired series, as we had with Kansas City. This is parts from what we had prior to. 3-0. And a reminder, Sunday, May 23rd, 1:05, Sox against the Marlins. First 10,000 children, 13 and under, will receive White Sox youth jerseys presented by Pepsi. Call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com.
Interleague play right around the corner. Florida Marlins currently game under 500. 4 games out in the NL East, with Philadelphia leading.
And the count full. Final from Fenway, 14-3 Yankees over the Cardinals. And there's a bullet right in the hole. Paulie 2 for 3, and that'll bring up Alex. Rios is 0 for 2. He has struck out on a good changeup from Cecil, and then he went out deep to right field. Short lead by Konerko. Got a pretty good pitch to hit and didn't do anything with it. So that'll retire the side. And we're into the 6th. It is a 3-0 White Sox lead. Three runs on 7 hits for our guys. No runs on no hits for their guys. It'll be Bautista, Buck, and Snyder here in the top of the 6th inning, as the Blue Jays through 5 have not had a base runner.
Bautista a little unhappy with himself because that fastball was hittable. It was over the middle of the plate, and he fouled it straight back, which means he was on it.
And the count 0-2. Bautista grounded to shortstop. Jammed himself right there.
Well, when you're having a good night, things like that happen. 0-2 pitch, he hangs his slider, and Bautista was waiting for it to move a little bit, didn't move at all. Couldn't get his arms out and popped it up.
So here's Buck. He went out to Alex in center.
John Buck is a very strong young man. He's with the Houston Astro organization. Got moved over to Kansas City. And getting his opportunity to play every day here in Toronto.
And same pitch. Count 0-2. Wouldn't bite on that one.
Buck was in AAA, going to play in the Futures game at the All-Star game. The game before, he ran into the first baseman on the play at first and broke his wrist. Didn't get a chance to do it.
That ball is hit hard and out of here. That is his third homer of the series, his 8th of the season, matching his total of all of last year.
Well, Jake hung the slider to Bautista to start this inning, and he hung another one to Buck. What I like to see in a situation like this, I like to see the catcher go out even with a veteran and just talk to him and remind him that he's got a 2-run lead. You can see that Jake hung the slider on the inner portion, and Buck hit a line drive rocket for his 8th.
Oh, 0-1 to Snyder, who hit a screaming Mimi right to Alexei at short, his only at bat. No-hitter, the shutout, and the perfect game all gone with a hanging slider. There's the strike. And a reminder, every White Sox Friday home game is United Flyaway Friday. Each Friday home game, one lucky fan will have a chance to win 2 free round-trip tickets to anywhere in the continental U.S. that United Airlines flies. United, proud to fly the Chicago White Sox. Side pole, the crew, Sparky.
Boy, they treat us great.
Count hangs at 1-2.
Snyder did a very good job of staying alive that time as Jake pulled the string. That ball was wide and low, and he was able to fight it off. Take a look at the location of this. That ball's a good 6 inches off the plate.
Watch out. And the count 2-2. Full count.
Freddie Lewis waiting in the on-deck circle.
Last year with Kansas City, Buck, 8 homers and 36 RBI. He gone. Strike out number 5, out number 2. And a reminder that you can visit the official online shop of the White Sox. Browse the largest selection of official gear, including the latest apparel, nostalgic memorabilia, and authentic classics for the whole family. Get your gear from the official source. Shop at WhiteSox.com. Accept no substitutes. Nubber off of Jake, and that's going to be a base hit.
I think it went off the thigh, and Jake's going to be okay. But Lewis had the 2 best at bats as far as duration is concerned, and he got another slider, and the same slider that was biting earlier isn't biting quite as much. Good idea by Jake, because the only thing he can do with that one is get himself in trouble by flipping it by Paulie at first. So concede the hit and get Hill.
Well, Jake wins this game. Has a good outing. You can bet that Mark Burley's not going to let him forget that one. Jake will walk into his locker tomorrow and find a glove tied around a belt. So here's Aaron Hill. Cannot check it up. He has looped out to second, and he has struck out swinging on a slider.
He looks like he very much is pulling off the slider.
Well, last year when we saw him, he was pretty much a 58, 59 foot hitter. By that I mean he was seeing the ball almost all the way to the catcher. This year we have seen him. He's probably a 54, maybe 55 footer. And there's a lot of difference. Oh, and 2. That's what happened. That's what's happened with Gordon. Gordon last year, after he was up here for a while, he was a 58, 59 foot hitter. And since he's been in this funk, he's a 53, 54 foot hitter. Okay, pulling his head off just enough to lose sight of the ball. And count hangs at 0-2.
AJ wanted that one a little bit higher. He gave him a sign for the fastball, and then motioned that he wanted it up. It's not quite high enough.
Minnesota leading Baltimore 1-0, top of the third in game 2 of that day-night doubleheader. Baltimore took the opener 7-3. One and two the count.
Jake can end this at bat with a slider. AJ wanted it on the last pitch. Jake shook him off and went to that moving fastball inside.
There, no, good fake. And Lewis gets back in. So 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3-7-0 for us, 1-2-0 for them. There he goes. And that pitch is fouled.
Ozzie has a pretty good feeling for what's happened so far. Like to see his offense tack a few more on, however.
There's the slider. And he'll grab some bench. We'll go to the bottom of 6. It is Sox by 2. It'll be A.J., Quentin, and Tian to face Brett Cecil. A.J.'s 1 for 2, a single, and a run scored. Anyone that can check that 2-0 to count to A.J.
Pitch number 102, 23-year-old.
And it's 3-0. There's one.
Josh Renicky loosening up in the pen.
And there's 2. So a full count. Pierzynski. Outfield spread out a little bit. Gap in left center. And that ball hit right at Vernon Wells.
Susan Rook is today's Hit the Jackpot with Powerball contestant. If the White Sox hit a home run this 6th inning, Susan will win 100 chances to take home the Powerball jackpot. Tonight's jackpot is worth $80 million. Looks like that's going to be it. 104 pitches is the limit. And here comes Renicky. So we'll be back after these messages. On for the 4th time, does not have an ERA to this point. 1 hit in 3 innings, and he takes over for Cecil, who went 5 1/3, gave up all 3 of the Sox runs on 7 hits. He walked 3, he fanned 3, and he threw 104 pitches.
26 years old out of Rough and Ready, California.
That's got to be one of your favorite towns.
That's the first time. They don't have any money in Rough and Ready. That's the first time I heard of that town. So here we go. Carlos Quentin. First pitch strike. Carlos 0 for 1 with the base on balls. Sox 2 in the first, 2-run homer by Konerko. Added 1 in the second. There was a hanger that he couldn't do anything with. Toronto tally, if you're just tuning in. Hanging slider. John Buck cranked out his 3rd homer of the series, his 8th of the season. Another one.
Renicky was a football player, played at UCLA. His father, Gary Renicky, was a former teammate of mine. His uncle, Ron Renicky, is a coach for Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. But I, like you, have never heard of Rough and Ready, California.
No. So here is Tien. Strikeout. And he hit into a 3-6-3 double play.
You see behind him?
Matt Thornton, all he did was work 2 innings yesterday. He struck out 5 of the 6 guys he faced. Checks it up. And you can come to U.S. Cellular Field and enjoy Dog Day presented by Hills Pet Nutrition Thursday, June 3rd. Sox versus the Rangers, 7:10 p.m. So for regular game tickets, call 866-SOX-GAME or visit whitesox.com.
That's one of my favorite days.
Well, outside of opening day, Mother's Day, Dog Day is my next one.
It's a great day here at the park.
I love Dog Day.
Yes, sir.
And that'll do it. 3 up, 3 down. We're into the 7th. Top of the 7th inning. Jake Peavy with a 3-1 lead. He's got Adam Lynn, Vernon Wells, and Overbay.
And this is going to be the pivotal inning for Jake. You go right through the heart of the order, and that lead is shrunk to just 2.
Lynn can't get it. He is 0 for 2. He just missed one in the 1st inning, flying high, and fairly deep to right. Then he struck out in the 4th. There's the strike. So the count 1-2 for the 26-year-old out of Anderson, Indiana, born in Muncie.
He's been swinging at that ball up and away. He's going to get a slider low and in.
Usually that's what happens when you get a slider coming down and in. You hit it hard, it's foul.
Jake got away with that one. That ball wasn't that much in.
Yeah, didn't do a great deal. You can still get him up and away. I think that tonight Lind has expanded his strike zone away.
And that's a chop foul.
Omar Malavi, the coach at first.
Ryan Butterfield over third for the Blue Jays.
And he got away with another one.
Carlos is there, and that is one out. And on tonight's home improvement for Menards, in his last 12 games, the Jays' Vernon Wells is walking to the plate right now, hitting .370 with 9 RBIs and 5 doubles. And for all your home improvement needs, shop and save. Save big money at Menards.
Nice job.
Can't get that one.
You ever in the barber shop?
Save big money at Menards. I know Bonnie Maroney. I know the Stars.
There you go. Well, that's a good repertoire. That's
yeah.
How you start.
Yeah.
The CD.
Well, outfield straight up, spread out. And the count 1-2. Wells now 4 for 10 in the series. And lifetime against Jake, he's 1 for 5. It's 43 degrees as we speak here at beautiful U.S. Cellular Field. He gone, took a little something off that slider. I like it.
Vernon hasn't seen Jake real well tonight. 2 strikeouts. And sandwiched in between, a ground ball to shortstop.
He threw that slider at the same speed as he's been throwing his change. Good guys today. My partner sitting right here beside me was one of the best at changing speeds on that curve.
Had no straight change. It wasn't for lack of effort. 14 years of every grip imaginable, and I'm still looking for a straight change.
And that pitch is hit into 14 years, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Looking for the easiest pitch in baseball to throw.
Couldn't find it.
1, 2, 3, 7th inning stretch is still Sox by 2.
Renicky.
WGN Sports, Tale of the Tape. 3-7-0 for us, 1-2-0 for them. Alexei has had a good night. He had a little duck snort single back in the second. Then in the fourth, hit a little ground ball down the third base line and hit the bag, bounced up, and he got himself another hit. That is a good night.
Except for the line drives you hit at people on other nights.
It never evens out. That pitch down low.
How many times a year would you get hit?
Pitch? Yeah, not many. It was hard to hit me. Because that's in the hole. Gonzalez, look at this play. Look at that play.
You can't be diving head first into first base.
Look from up here like he got it.
I think he got him, but the thing is, and we talk about it all the time, and for all you young players out there, just remember something. The fastest people in the world are Olympic sprinters, and if you could get to a spot by diving faster than you could by running, they would all be diving head first through the tape. None of them do. They lean forward through the tape, and that actually slows you down.
Whether he got him or not, it was a terrific play by Gonzalez.
Tremendous play, but I think if he runs through the bag, he beats the play.
Well, we did the timing when I was in the minor leagues with Kansas City of running through the bag or diving into the bag, and the guys who ran through the bag always got there quicker. I mean, that's just the way it was.
That's the way it is.
There we go. It's out in front of the plate. Renicky says, I'll take it. Throws it away. So Pierre in the second.
There'll be a base hit and an error, I believe. And it is base hit, E1. That's a big insurance run out at second base. So even with Bautista in at third, with Renicky falling off the mound to the first base side, it's an errant toss to first. Overbay cannot come up with it. And Juan winds up at second.
And here's Beckham. The kid is 1 for 1. Walked twice. Once with the bases loaded. That in the second inning. Scored a run in the first ahead of that 2-run homer by Konerko, and he had an infield single leading off the fifth.
That was a really nice play, and I'm sure that Bill Welke appreciated it because he threw it almost right over his head. I think Aaron Hill is now going over to talk to Welke.
He's trying to give him a moment to calm down.
What are you doing?
You don't see that very often.
No, I think Renicky thought Welke was getting too big a lead.
The only thing I can think Renicky was thinking about was, I got to throw it or it'll be a balk, and you can't balk the second.
No, you can turn around and just hold it or fall or do whatever you want to do. But it sure surprised Bill Welke.
And that's off the fist, foul back. And that evens the count at 1. Long set. And a little fister right there. There's another Doc Edwards shot. That is out number 2.
For a moment there, it looked like nobody was going to take command. That ball wasn't hit high enough, and Renicky had to make the play himself. John Walgren tells us that the only thing left in Rough and Ready is a blacksmith shop. And he said it was named after the 12th president, Zachary Taylor. At that time, of course, you had half the town was tough and ruthless, and the other half was rough and toothless.
Well, you know, he went to UCLA, so some of those guys have some fun sometimes with,
Yeah, I was going to say so, yes.
with PR people. It's like Defusky Island down in South Carolina. Guy says, "Where you from?" He says, "I'm Defusky Island." All of a sudden he puts it in the press guide and he says, "That's not where I'm from." Yeah, I says, "What are you talking about?" I said, "The first key. The first key, not the first key." Slider can't get it, and the count 1-2. That's that dialect. It's a 1-1 count. 2 down. Knock him in. And do we need that pickup run right there? Two balls and a strike. Mets beat the Giants 5-4. New York. (14-3) Yankees over the Red Sox at Fenway. That's out of play. Starters in the Yankee Red Sox, CC and Clay Buchholz.
And Acevedos wound up winning it, so I don't know what happened to CC, but when you win 12-3 and CC is not hanging around to get that win, we'll have to check into that to see why.
Well, Acevedos is the new modern day Dave Reagan, the Vulture. He's 3-0 at least this year.
He was very
10-1 last year.
Very good against us in New York.
Phil Reagan, I should say. Full count with 2 out. And a payoff pitch. The ball hit hard in the center field. Stretch. Wells going back. It's off the bottom of the wall, so he will pick up the run. Now he's on his way to third base. Here's a throw. No throw. Safe. It is 4-1 Sox on the triple by Andrew Jones.
Andrew had enough speed for his first triple of the year, but he didn't start to turn it on until he rounded first base. I think he thought that ball was long gone, but it's a very cool night here. He got a fastball right down the middle. And Andrew stops to take a look at it for a bit. Fortunately, it bounds away from Wells. He got trapped too close to the wall, and Andrew drives in run number 17. But a big 4th run here tonight.
And here's Canerco. I'll tell you, he has been something. Future Hall of Fame manager Bobby Cox. Bobby told me that Andrew Jones, best center fielder he has ever seen. Bobby has seen a lot of it, and that's good enough for me.
Well, he had great speed.
He's still got good speed.
Yes, and
he's 5 for 5 in stolen bases.
Wonderful anticipation. And just seemed to coast under everything.
Paulie is 2 for 3. That 2-run homer in the first, and that bullet single in the 5th. And that's down low, 3-0. Alex on deck.
This is a very good time to give Paulie the 3-0 green light.
He had a 3-0 count last time.
And you got a relatively young pitcher on the mound.
Taking all the way. Runners at the corners, and here is Alex. He's 0 for 3.
Bruce Walton coming out. Wants to settle Renicky down somewhat.
4-9-0 for our Sox. 1-2-1 for the Blue Jays.
And Jake Peavy has been in command from the beginning through the first 7. Casey Jansen loosening up in the bullpen. Alex trying to extend that 9-game hitting streak. He has been held hitless through 3.
So far, Jake has done a tremendous job in cooling down a red-hot ball club. Won 8 out of their last 9. They are 11-3 on the road.
Well, they're just running into a superb pitching performance tonight.
Well, we've had good pitching in every game so far.
Yep.
Johnny Danks in number 1 last night. Mark Burley in number 2. And this evening, Jake Peavy. That's the thing that really hurts when you're struggling like we are, when you lose those good pitching performances. And the count 2-0. It's like we talk about, you're going to win 60, you're going to lose 60. What do you do with those other 42? Well, we have managed to waste a lot of those 42 already. That's over by the photographer's well. Short of 25,000 tonight. Chilly evening here in the beautiful city. Two-one pitch. So 2 on, 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Renicky came over from the Cincinnati Reds in a deal that sent Scott Rowland from Toronto to Cincinnati.
And a full count, as we've discussed last night. Paul Beeston at the helm of this ball club. And Mancito is going to be an assistant, I would imagine, to Paul.
4-year contract.
They're on the right track in leadership. Beastie is a guy that makes things happen.
3-2 right now. So if he gets on first, there's a lefty coming. Let me know.
And that's back. Bautista. So Paulie will make the turn as Andrew will score. Safe at second is Rios. And it's a 5-1 ball game.
2-base hit and 10 in a row on the hitting streak. When the third baseman gives ground, he better have spectacular hands. His ball was hit right at Bautista, but you see him start to give ground, and his hands weren't that good.
Cito out. Renicky departs, and we'll be back.
Home game brought to you by Walgreens, the Pharmacy America Trust. Casey Jansen comes in the game. He inherits runners at second and third. Sox lead by 4. There you look at the numbers. ERA not impressive, but a 3-0 record, so he's been at the right place at the right time.
And here's AJ. The Ducks on the pond, 2 out. And AJ 1 for 3. Straightens him up. Jansen, 28 years old, out of Huntington Beach, California. He also attended UCLA, as did Renick. And a count 2-0. Carlos Quentin on deck. AJ with that big home run last night in the ninth to tie it. Single and scored in this ball game. We'll see what they want to do here with first base open. And it's 3-0. And they're just going to put him in.
And Jake's trying to stay loose. Even on a cold night, he decides that jacket is not in the works for him.
He's from Alabama. He's a tough one.
He is a tough one.
There's no question. You know, I always do that when we penny trades for somebody. I'll call some friends of mine who are scouts, and I'll say, what are we getting? I'll call a few guys. Never one of them started off the same way. All keep getting it, all competitive.
He is that.
So sacks packed with Sox. Breaking ball. 1-0. Carlos 0 for 2 with a walk. He walked to lead off the 4th inning. Gap out there in left center. And now he's got the catbird seat at 2-0. 5-1 White Sox here in the bottom of the 7th. Nally, tomorrow, make your plans to be with us right here at U.S. Cellular Field. Gavin Floyd against Ricky Romero. And the count 3-0. And if you can't make it, that game tomorrow will be over Comcast Sportsnet. So right here, 3-0. Sacks packed. 10 on deck. And there's one.
Normally, that's a pitch that Carlos really would have liked. He loves the ball down there. For 3-0, you got to take one.
And there's ball 4. It is 6-1. RBI number 19 for Quentin.
He came in with a batting average of 175. He's gone 0 for 2 with a couple of walks, and he's got 19 runs driven in.
Well, here's Tian. He's 0 for 3. And that's low ball 1.
10 pitches, 1 in the zone for Casey Jansen. Now John Buck goes out to suggest that he throw a strike every now and then.
And bottom of the 5th there in Minnesota. Baltimore and the Twins are tied at 1. Baltimore in game 1 of that split doubleheader, 7-3. And they won the opener last night. So the Orioles put it on the Twins. And the count 2-0. Well, that just grabbed everybody in that gray pants up the wall. 3-0.
Well, Jansen hasn't been close. That's the 3rd walk that turned into a run batted in tonight. Beckham has one. Quentin has one, and now Tian has one.
There's Lewis, Tommy Lewis. And here is Alexei. He's 2 for 3. He started this inning off. Takes that pitch low and away. Well, you've had them. Everybody's had them. Get out on that mound, or you get in that batter's box, just have a brain crack. Can't do anything.
And that plate seems to keep moving. I lost a 2-1 game to San Diego with a no-hitter that I took into the 8th inning. The only hit, a bunt hit with 2 outs in the 8th. And I walked 5 guys in the 5th, walked in 2 runs, and lost 2-1. It was a sad fit.
Yeah. As here's the 1-1. That's inside, 2 balls and a strike.
Bases still loaded.
Four runs here in the 7th on just 3 hits.
There's some pretty big numbers with the bases loaded for Alexi Ramirez.
And the count 3-1. Juan Pierre on deck. Jansen with that big leg kick. The ball hit hard right to the left field of Freddie Lewis. If the crooked number goes up on that board, we'll go to the 8th, leading by 6. Alex Gonzalez gets set to lead it off here in the Toronto half of the 8th inning. He is 0 for 2. He has struck out and grounded to third. 7-10-0 for our Sox. 1-2-1 for their Blue Jays. Takes that pitch down low. Sox will conclude the series, this homestand tomorrow. Off day on Monday. And then we're off. That's outside. Next Tuesday and Wednesday we'll be in Minnesota. Off day on Thursday, and then Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in Kansas City. And then Monday and Tuesday finish up that road trip in Detroit. There's the strike.
Get a chance to see that brand new ballpark in Minnesota. Supposed to be gorgeous. I've seen the outside. I haven't seen the inside yet.
I've seen it on TV, and it looks beautiful. The ball high, a hanger, deep. And that is number 10 for our Gonzalez. Of course, a lot of guys are going to hit that one out of here.
10 and 26. Those 4 runs in a 7th come in handy. This is another hanging slider. It went a long way. Now the bullpen up and going. Still a 5-run lead, however, and it's Sergio Santos throwing in the pen.
0-2 the count to Batista, who has grounded to short and gone out to center. Just off the end of the bat. Was it ever hard for you to keep your intensity once you say you got a 6-run lead?
I think you just have to tell yourself, and as you get older, you're able to do this. Maybe not so much as a youngster, but you tell yourself it's a nothing game. You still make the same pitches. You don't really think about what the score is.
Off the glove of Tien, picked up by Alexei, and he throws him out. That'll be 5-6-3. Thank you very much.
To me, like Batista might have been spectating a touch.
And let's check out our AT&T U-verse replay. See what's new from AT&T? Visit www.attnt.com. So here's Buck. He's 1 for 2, a homer. Alex Gonzalez leading the Toronto Blue Jays in home runs and RBI.
Pretty amazing when you look at some of the names in this lineup.
One and one to count.
I talked to John Buck before the game today, and he told me that he's thinking this year more along the lines of right and right center. And Hockey said something that is just completely opposite of most hitters. He said this year more than ever, he'll hit off the off-speed pitch and then take the fastball to right and right center field. And that's just unlike most guys usually do.
That's it right back. Little comebacker, 2 down. Well, if he can do that, so far everything is working for him because he's had 8 home runs and 18 RBIs last year. A total of Kansas City. He had 8 home runs and 36 ribbies.
Yeah, I mean,
there not many guys can hit off the off-speed stuff.
No, isn't there most
and
guys
still hit a fastball?
They key off the fastest pitch and adjust on down.
Sure. I mean, that's 99.99%. If he can do that, he's got something going for himself.
Hell, that's the way I used to hit when I was in the American League.
Yeah, what hurts?
We had the DH, and I used to tell the guys how well I hit.
Travis Snyder is lined hard to short and struck out. There's some guys you can do that off of. Guys who throw, like 83, 84.
Or if they're going to throw 55, 60% breaking balls, then you pretty much
but
give
you're
up
a breaking
the
ball
fastball.
pitcher.
Yeah.
After you lost your big fastball, and I guarantee you, nobody could sit on your curveball and hit your fastball. Not if you got it up at all. He gone. That is 9 strikeouts for the Jake Meister, and he leads it 7-2.
You weren't happy that Harold hit that and ended it, were you? You probably wanted that to go to 30, 35 innings.
Oh, Harold. Boy, we were talking about this morning and yesterday. 7th, 8th, and 9th inning hitters. You're looking at them. Harold Baines. You got to have a couple of those guys, 2 or 3 of those guys, hopefully 3 on your club. You got to have some good 7th, 8th, and 9th inning hitters if you're going to contend.
Especially when you consider that you're going to get the premier setup men and premier closers, and you got to find some way to beat them. And it's only the real good hitters that hit those guys.
You're going to see in tight ball games, you're going to see the best they've got out.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that make a lot of money in this game, hitting the 3s, 4s, and 5s in the rotation, hitting the middle relievers. But the 1s and 2s, the premier setup men and the premier closers, they go to sleep. They're gone. You don't hear from them. And I mean, there's guys making a lot of money.
Well, they total up the numbers. That's one thing about baseball. Another thing interesting and intriguing. Some of the most misleading things about the game of baseball are the numbers.
Well, batting average to me is almost irrelevant because I like to add up runs batted in and runs scored. The closer you are to 200, the more valuable you are to your team.
I don't think you went right there.
That might have been the 5 runs in
7-2 in the 8th. Yeah.
He didn't swing at that pitch. Nope. Watch it again. In fact, I don't think he came close. But goes down on strikes.
Beckham takes a strike. He's 1 for 2. You look at some of the clubs who consistently win. Look at the Yankees, for an example, like last year. The best 2 7th, 8th, and 9th inning hitters they had, Matsui and Jeter.
Matsui was a great clutch hitter from the time he put on that Yankee uniform. And, you know, you hear about
the best clutch hitter on that ball club.
And he was sensational.
And Jeter was right there with him. It's just like those. We talked about the Yankees back in the strongest teams that I saw. Back in 77, 78, in that era for the Yankees. Of course, 98 wasn't bad. But the best 2 7th, 8th, and 9th inning hitters they had back in those days were Thurman Munson and Lou Piniella.
Tough guys to get out. I faced those Yankee teams, and you didn't want to see them with the game on the line late.
Andrew had a big triple last inning. His first 3-bagger of the season.
Any other night, that would have been long out of the ballpark, but tonight, stayed in.
Gonzalez has got him. And a 1-2-3 inning. Jensen must not like rain. Anyway, we're into the 9th.
13th time, and he hasn't given up anything. And Jake Peavy was spectacular. 8 innings, 2 runs on 3 hits. He didn't walk anybody, and he fanned 9.
So here we go, top of the 9th, top of the order for the Blue Jays, Lewis, Hill, and Lynn. Oh, and won the count for the 28-year-old outfielder. Had that infield single in the 6th inning. And that's up high. That pitch at 96. And that's low. 2-2. Paulie with that home run. If you're just tuning in the first inning, a 2-run shot. Of course, he leads in major leagues in that category. He has 13 homers. 8 in the last 13 games. So you can see the last couple of games where you sorely missed him with that stiff neck of his. Payoff pitch. So he got ahead of him, led him back into the at-bat. And he doubles. Get ahead of him, you're going to try to put him away.
That's 2 hits in every game for Freddie Lewis. High fastball, out away. And with the play right in front of him, he easily goes into second.
So here's Aaron Hill. He's 0 for 3. He looped to second and a couple of strikeouts. Takes ball 1. Ground ball. Alexei's got a backhanded plant. Peg. Low throw. Nice pick by Paulie. Wow. Whew. That was a very difficult pick right there.
This ball in the hole, and Ramirez plants, gets it off quickly, and allows Paul to pick the long hop. Meanwhile, freezing Lewis at second base.
Paulie had to imagine where that ball was going to bounce. Never saw it into his glove. As Lynn takes a strike. What a play by Konerko. Mercy. And that's low. Up the middle. Alexei's got it. And that's out number 2. So 2 out. Lewis at third, and here is Vernon Wells, who is 0 for 3 tonight. Nice. Boy, that breaking stuff that Sergio has, Tony, is pretty awesome for a first-year pitcher.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing is the straight change, and especially that slider. Good stop by AJ. Keeping that scoreless streak intact. That was a pretty tough ball to handle.
The ball is hammered. Meanwhile, it was just a hard strike, and the count 1-2 with 2 down as the Sox try to get on the board against the Blue Jays. Won game 1 2-0 and 7-4 in 12 innings last night. And there is the streak is over. As there he just pokes it out into right field as Lewis scores, and it is a 7-3 ball game. So Sergio Santos goes 12 scoreless innings, which is a new White Sox record for rookies. And our congratulations to Serge.
High fastball taken the other way. And the appearance streak and the innings streak to start his career is over.
Overbay did not go much further than Juan Pierre. Anyway, he's 0 for 3 tonight. Chops that one over into the Blue Jay dugout. So 1-1 to count. 24,945 on a cold evening here in the beautiful city.
It actually says it got warmer up on the scoreboard.
44 as we speak.
I think they're kidding you.
It is. Jeff Chanel and the crew just playing around with this. That's up high. 2-1. There's a strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Wells at second. 33-year-old first baseman Lyle Overbay. He gone. And this ball game is over. So the Sox indeed get on the board with this victory tonight. And Stoney Jake Peavy was just outstanding. Once again.
Yeah, he picked up tonight where he left off against Kansas City, and that was, he got ahead. He was 1-2, 0-2 a good portion of the evening. He didn't walk anybody. He threw very aggressively, and you know, that kind of stuff is what you expect from a guy that won the Cy Young Award as recently as 2007. Jake said he found it. Well, after the first inning in Texas, he certainly did find it, and we've seen it now for the rest of that game and the next 2 games. He was brilliant tonight.
And let's check out our Miller players of the game. 28-year-old right-hander now evens his record up at 2-2, and this is Stone Tony told you. He had it going. And now our co-player of the game, Paul Konerko, cranked out his 13th homer. That was a 2-run shot in the first inning. Tony Paulie really swinging that bat well.
Well, the lineup looked so much different with him in the middle of it because Jones is swinging the bat well, Rios is swinging the bat well, and you sandwich Konerko in the middle of those guys, and now it becomes something that the pitcher really has to worry about. Ball very hard, had a big night, and started off the scoring. And when you give a hot pitcher, and Jake Peavy is just that, a 2-run lead in the first inning, add another in the second, get him off to a nice running start, and at least some comfort, it turned out to be the Sox night tonight.
Well, if we can keep 2 or 3 or 4 of these guys swinging the bat decent, like they are, as you just alluded to, then it's going to make it easier on the rest of them who've really been scuffling. We got some guys who've really been scuffling.
Well, there is no doubt that there's a lot of room for improvement for a whole lot of these guys, but 3 guys we mentioned, Jones,